The Route of 40 highway is a world classic. Some sections are still dirt, and it's under constant repair due to the harsh conditions of Patagonia. We haven't seen a main road in this condition since the Dempster Highway in Canada's Yukon Territory.
The road is completely saturated with water, and it's pretty sketch. The Tacoma came right in through here, and that's just one pass, and it's just smashing out right there.
Look at my foot.
Yeah, just soup.
My foot just goes all the way in.
Oh, God, even more gnarly.
Oh, it's bad.
She's a heavy girl. Yeah, she is.
Oh, man.
Expedition Overland is proudly presented by General Tire, anywhere is possible, and in part by Maxtrax, take the easy way out, Magpul, hard goods and apparel, Warn, go prepared, Icon Vehicle Dynamics, Equipped Expedition Outfitters, CBI Off-Road Fabrication, X-Venture Trailers, and in association with Toyota, let's go places. After a quick camp along the Route of 40 last night, we are now on our way to visit Mount Fitzroy, where we hope to have a narrow weather window of clear sky to see the famous peak. From there, we will need to move quickly to reach the Moreno Glacier, and finally push through another cold front to get to Torres del Paine before the weather prevents us from seeing Patagonia's most epic geographic cathedrals.
This town is charming. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Check out this door. Look at the hinges on it. That's rad. Burly. That's it. Come eat it.
We give Steve a break from the kitchen and use the Wi-Fi to get the latest intel on the weather. As of right now, the mountains are socked in. We'll just have to wait and see what morning brings.
Jeffro! Come with me! Gotta make sounds. Oh, that good.
I don't fall.
We are camped at the base, well, kind of the base of Fitzroy, the mountain, which is an epic mountain. It's like one of the most spectacular mountains on Earth. And we're sucked in right now. So this is one of the things that I wanted to see since planning this. And I don't know, I got my fingers crossed. It is calling for partially sunny tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that the mountain will clear off. But tonight, we had a great dinner, good drive into here, kind of a long day of driving, which kind of was nice after putting in all that time on the trail. I'm gonna wake up and see what we see.
We get an early start to hopefully see Fitzroy. Our intention is to see it before any clouds can form as the day goes on.
That's right there. That is insane! Woo!
And this could have been a total bust of clouds, and yet we've got a clear sky. Beautiful.
Patagonia never ceases to amaze me how one day it's frigid cold, sideways rain and sleet, low cloud cover, and then the next day it's a gorgeously sunny day. It just kind of just blows my mind on the varying weather conditions here.
That's really super, Steve.
Epically super.
Fitzroy is a classic mountaineering peak with geographic significance. In 1952, Lionel Terray and Guido Magnon succeeded in its first ascent via the southeast ridge. Yvon Chouinard, founder of Patagonia, has used Fitzroy as the background to his company logo, inspired by his ascent in 1968. At the summit lies the border between Argentina and Chile. Both countries have agreed to define the mountain this way, but much of the border remains undefined to the south of it.
I don't think there's ever been this beautiful of a gas station. Fitzroy is right in the back. How cool is that? It doesn't get much better than that. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Pretty cool to see the other like expeditions, the other Ushuaia expeditions. You know, there's some up there from Korea, Brazil, I mean, all over the world. It's pretty cool.
We camped for the night just outside the small town of El Calafate.
Last night was brutal. I think most of us slept 3 hours. The winds were horrendous. The biggest fear was like if we were gonna wake up with all that weather coming in and it would be socked in and gross and terrible and we wouldn't be able to go see some glaciers today. But it's still clear. It's Patagonia and Patagonia has crazy weather. If we move fast enough, we will stay out of the bad weather and be able to see Torres del Paine tomorrow. We're working hard to just hit these little windows of travel.
We're gonna go look at a glacier today.
Approaching the glacier, Kurt's wonderful gift of curiosity keys up the mic.
This is the Moreno Glacier, which is one of, I believe, 48 in the Patagonia ice field down here. 550 feet roughly thick ice. This ice field total that makes up those 48 glaciers is 1/3 of the Earth's fresh water. Think about that. If it all melted, 1/3 of the entire Earth's fresh water would be up in these glaciers.
That's insane. Jeff and I just gave each other the shock and awe look.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. So
With our anticipation of the glacier redlining, a poor assumption of mine forces us to set the brakes and sends Kurt and I back to town.
Does look like there's an entrance fee. Alright, so unfortunately solo effectivo here, no tarjeta.
Earlier this morning, I had made the call to go ahead to the national park without local currency. I was very wrong.
All right. Well, Steve,
Yes.
you're making hamburgers in a parking lot in the entrance of this is a national park, right?
Yeah,
So
it
this
is a national park.
Why are we doing this right here, right now?
Well, pro tip. Exo pro tip. Always carry local currency.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
Because not every place takes credit cards.
Faster.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. Well,
You guys get the cashola?
Thank you. Yeah, we're paid. We're in. We're official.
The glacier is that way. We shall go to the glacier together.
Just ahead is the absolutely stunning Moreno Glacier.
That is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
The first thing Clay asked me when we were driving up the road and could start seeing glimpses of it, he said, "Hey, as an engineer, what do you think when you see something like that?" And my first reaction was, how much ice melt it would take to melt that thing. It'd take a lot. Look at that. Whoa! Oh, God.
are insane. Walking down to the glacier here, and I can already say it's the coolest. I can hear them calving. Dude, this is so spectacular. Let's go, Jeff. Come on, Jeff, let's go, Jeff.
There is nothing in this world that compares to the haunting sound of a glacier.
Dude, that is rad. Whoa!
job, Jeff.
Good show. Man, the secondary splash was the cooler part.
The Moreno Glacier is considered to be the Eiffel Tower of Patagonia. You have to see it if you're here.
I am just truly privileged to be here. It's a joy to be able to see a wonder like this in the world. It's surreal.
It's just so powerful to see all this. I mean, this is all moving ice. It's captured us. We've been standing here for 2 hours. We're usually running gun on the move, going fast because we have a schedule to keep. So it's been really cool to be here and just have something slow you down and you don't even intend for it to happen.
You can feel the power of the glacier. I'm glad we were able to make it here and right in our weather window. So that was pretty cool.
You really could just stand here and stare at it and stare at it and stare at it. Every little crack and boom that you hear kind of gets you. You know, you just want to see something huge happen. That sound right there is just, ooh.
With evening setting in, camp is our next objective. We eventually have a hard landing on the side of the Route of 40.
Good evening, Eric.
I see you're doing your nightly ritual.
Tonight we are pulling in on the side of the road in Argentina at a random spot, and I'm getting ready to offload all the footage from today. So if you see this chat and then you see the footage of the glacier, it's kind of interesting. It's like we're previewing the glacier before it's been happening.
Just asked Steve where he was at, and he's like, I'm at a 3.2 on a scale of 1 to 10. Every night I ask guys, well, most every night, where are you at? Throughout the day. 10 being the best you've ever been. 1 being like, I'm super tired, I'll fall asleep standing here. I think I'm at a 6.
I think I'm at a 7.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nate, where you at?
I think I'm like a 7.84, I think.
7.84.
Yeah. I'm just
Dang.
because
I'm the
last
weenie
night-
in the group here. Kurt's 7. Jeff.
I think I'm like a 7.5.
You guys are all liars.
We're kind of all starting to get to the point where we don't really need dinner. We just go to bed.
Yeah.
Don't want to put your tent poles in. You just want to crawl under it and slide in and go to bed and get out. Crossing a continent's kind of no joke.
Yeah. This is a big continent.
That's a big continent.
It's morning time.
Dear Diary, day 59, Expedition Chile. We've set up the tents and we have torn down the tents, and we have eaten again, and the crew seems to be happy. On for the morrow.
Eat, drink, and be merry, for today we shall be overlanders.
We are on our way to Torres del Paine. It's going to be pretty amazing. The peaks there are awesome. We do have a border crossing, and hopefully they don't take all our food at the border, all our meat and fruit and vegetables. And that's what we got going on today. It should be pretty amazing. Let's go.
We get all those.
It's another big day in the saddle to make it to the Torres del Paine region. In order to buy some more time, we take a dirt road shortcut that shaves just over 60 kilometers off our planned route. The road is cluttered with large gravel, and the trailer's wiring harness has been knocked out, and an electrical fire has ensued.
Pull fuses. Abort. Get everything out of here. Something's on fire. Something right here. Something's touching on this. What is going on? We're on fire. It's cool now, though.
Well, I was opening that up to see if there was, like, zip ties in there.
Yeah. Right by the gas pump. Pretty rad.
Yeah.
As we're fueling.
Muy peligro.
Well, we can't have nice things.
Let's get out of here before we explode.
Next up, back into Chile, where the agricultural dogs at the border indicate on our food, and thus we lose all our produce again.
Well, we just pulled over because we're just driving down the road, just entered the park here, and got a check engine light. Statistically, it would be nothing major. It's a Land Cruiser, right?
Right. Evaporation emission control system. Incorrect flow detected.
It's gotta be the cap.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Erase codes. This never happened.
Thankfully, it was only the fuel cap not being tightened at the previous fuel stop.
And engine light, check engine light is on.
The hills are alive with the sound
good.
of music.
Nice one.
Realizing that the winds are calm, curiosity strikes again.
We started looking around, and we know that from our devices that we're in between these weather systems. It appears that we're in Never Never Land, which is between a warm front and a cold front. It says to look for mackerel sky. Resembles the scales of a fish, suggests potential for precipitation. Look for approaching high winds. Check. Cirrus clouds. Check. Look for flat sheet-like clouds, stratus clouds. Check. Look for thickening lowering clouds. Check.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then look for an increase in air temperature. Look how nice it is. So we're definitely having a warm front come in, and we are in between the current cold front that moved out and the warm front coming in. It's the no man's land, and we're here on the sweet spot in Torres del Paine. So it's kind of cool just to see the weather in action doing its thing.
It's now time to do our thing. Hit the road and hopefully capture one of the most epic mountain systems in the world, Torres del Paine.
We're going to head down towards the Explora Hotel, where they offer some in-the-park camping. It's a paid camping area, should be nice. Perhaps have a little shower option and good view back up at the Torres del Paine. So it's a little down the road, but I think it's going to be a beautiful drive to get there.
I know I could use a shower if we could get one. 14 days I think it's been since I've had one.
He said you can totally use a shower. I think we can all use a shower. I'm probably only a weekend, but I'm ready.
Today is another one for the books. It's as if they have opened this place up just for us. We've had it all to ourselves.
Just the exposure on the base of those things. I haven't seen any other mountains in the world that look like that, hands down.
Yeah, wasn't it, we were reading earlier that National Geographic rated this park the 5th most scenic park in the world.
Wow. Cool, well I'm excited to get into camp, get a good setup going, get some dinner, and enjoy the evening.
Rolling into one of the many national park campgrounds, it appears we may be some of the first guests of the year.
Well, this place is really special. It's a photographer's dream, especially on a night like tonight. The light has come in and we're starting to get pretty far south. And it's coming into summer. So that magic hour for a photographer is just hanging there. I'm surprised at how much we've been able to get done tonight, because that light is just hanging in there. It's awesome. It's like the cherry on top of the whole expedition.
This is one of the most beautiful sceneries I think I've ever seen.
It's funny he can do self-interviews. You just can't do one. He just walks.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good at self-interviews. Selfie interviews.
Morning provides the last bit of wonder before the warm front and consequential rain makes its way in. It's our final moments in the park, but we have time for one more stop. The beautiful Salto Grande waterfall.
They're cool.
crazy thing is there's that much water coming into the upper lake all day too then.
Yep.
So we spring again and we may be right at the high mark of this.
You know, we go to all these cool places. I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of beautiful things in this world. And you just kind of get to this point where you just stop trying to explain it. Of all the places I've been to, you have to get here. It's just incredible.
Pretty intense. I come from Salt Lake and we have beautiful mountains, the Wasatch Back right behind us, but the sheer rise of these is the crazy part, just how jagged and insurmountable they look.
I mean, look at this. It's insane. And you do just need to kind of sit and watch and be in the moment. It's a little cliche, but that's exactly what it is. Storm is moving in. We knew that was going to happen. But the other challenge in front of us is getting to Ushuaia in time to meet some hard dates. Steve's got to fly out. If we have any problems in between here and there, which is 900 kilometers from here, 3 hard days of driving, we may miss our window for the end of the road, which is not cool. So we must go right now. We're gonna pick it up and bomb south.
To make our mileage means that we need to make it across the Strait of Magellan tonight. The last ferry leaves at 11:30 p.m. If we push hard, we should make it. Arriving here spurs on a nostalgic moment for Kurt and I.
We're looking for the E7 Expedition sticker that we probably would have put on here back in 14, 16? No, 15. 15. No, 14. 14.
It's late, we don't even remember.
I don't even know where I am. Ferdinand Magellan something?
The Strait of Magellan, also called the Straits of Magellan, is a narrow, navigable sea route that separates mainland South America to the north and Tierra del Fuego to the south. It is considered to be one of the most important natural passages between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Its narrow passage only takes 30 minutes to cross.
Well, we made it. It's gonna be another windy night, but that's to be expected here. It's Patagonia, it's windy.
Tierra del Fuego now.
Tierra del Fuego. And I'm tired enough, I think I could sleep through anything. So, feeling good. Time to crash, get up and keep motoring and make it to the end. To the end. Fiend.
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 Is it weird when there's a feather on the outside of your egg?
No, that's how you know it's organic.
Oh. It's better than a feather inside your egg, I guess. Did I just jump up and kick you in the face?
Yeah.
Nice. I think the appropriate answer you're looking for is you're welcome.
The first thing on the list today is crossing back into Argentina. Then, filling the tanks for the final push to Ushuaia. If everything goes right, we should arrive in Ushuaia and at the end of the Route of 3 by the end of the day. We find our fuel in a small town of Rio Grande, situated on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. We are now only 3 hours from crossing through the famous Ushuaia entrance signs and the end of the Pan American Highway.
We're going to kind of wrap to the left pretty good, cross up over the mountain on a path here, and then range on our left, and drop right into the valley there with the snow.
The final route has us crossing over the Andes to the south one last time, where Ushuaia is protected along the Beagle Channel.
We are about 3.5 clicks out, best guess on that sign, kind of from the outskirts of the city anyway, which is where that sign was. But it could come up in the next click or two as well, so be prepared. This is exciting!
Okay, here it is.
Ushuaia is the ceremonial end of the Pan American, but we are committed to its very end.
So not only have we made it to Ushuaia, but we're going to burn to the end of the Pan American. So there's no miles road.
I've been dreaming of this day a long time.
Likewise, can't believe it's finally here. After all that work put in, planning, this part is reality. It's telling me I have to remind myself that this is real.
This is real. What's your ETA say, Kurt?
About 12-15 minutes and 17 kilometers from the end of the road.
Right on, it's coming down to the very end.
The end kind of loops back around to this lake that we're on right now. It's going to go up over this hill. So we are 2.5 minutes out, 3.5 kilometers.
Jeff, I mean, we haven't crossed the line yet, but I want to say, hey, you and me, the whole way, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Can't believe it's here. It's been a real joy to do it. Yeah, congratulations, you two. What a neat accomplishment, not only for everybody to get here, but for you two in particular to have completed the Pan American Highway together as Expedition Overland. That is awesome.
Sure. We were in Cardwell or something in Alaska, right there outside the park, Denali National Park. We decided, you know what, let's push to go all the way up to Prudhoe Bay, because someday we might be able to say we've completed the Pan American Highway, and here we are today.
Yes, I remember that conversation very well at that picnic table. I'm sure glad we made that choice. Well worth it.
Yeah.
Yay, we're 500 meters out.
500 meters! Yeah, now, camera.
Guys, so the end of the road. Guys, we have made it. Awesome. End of the road, here we are. Let's, woo! Got it.
I'm not reading signs. Let's give it hugs.
Yes!
Good time, man.
Come on! Oh, yes!
I'm so happy. Oh, the happiness.
You find that like at the end of the roads, it's just an end of the road, you know? But it brings up that cliche that it's what's in between them.
It's the journey, right?
It is. It really is. It's cliche, but whatever, it really is.
Yep.
And it becomes really apparent to that right here, right now.
More than just the road, more than just a stop point and end point, but what you learn in between, the memories you make,
Yeah.
the people you experience it with,
Yep. Are you crying?
the lessons you learn.
Let me get that
No.
for you. You're gonna make me cry.
The lessons you learn, the people you do it with.
Hey, your allergies are acting up, buddy.
Yeah. Must be hay fever season.
Wish Ty was here. Wish Scott was here.
Yeah.
Wish Shelly was here.
Toby.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Heather.
All of them.
All of them.
Wish they could all be here. We need to get the flag.
We do.
Oh, we totally need the flag.
Perfecto.
What? Awesome, guys. That's pretty fun.
That's what we've been waiting for, right? Signing the flag. We are finally here.
We started in Cartagena, and each one of these colors represents a day. And you can follow it down and down and down. Remember some detours out to the Death Road, doing the Salar de Uyuni, coming up over the Lagunas route. You can see we really slowed down and compressed our days. In fact, some places spent more than one day.
coming on down to Copiapó. Some big days as we crossed northern Colombia, and then really slowed it down again as we came down to Cayon and finished our drive all the way down here to the bottom.
To the very end.
To the very end of the Ruta 3. Pretty wild, huh?
Yeah. I think on this trip, there were only 3 times when we stayed in one place more than one night. Every other time we were moving every single day.
Let's think about it. Cartagena.
Yeah. We were there for 2 nights.
2 nights, because we were waiting for vehicles to show up at the container at the port.
Lima, Peru.
Lima, Peru, because we had team coming and going. And Copiapó on the tail end, because we had team flying out. All of us flying out. Parking, staging vehicles, getting all prepped. That's it.
That's
it. And on this leg, not only have we not spent 2 nights in the same place, but we haven't stayed in a hotel. We've camped every single night on the whole way down, including tonight. And it's going to be probably our coldest one yet. It's snowing a little bit here. We may get a little dusting overnight, but it'd be a great night.
Yeah.
That's a pretty remarkable accomplishment. Yeah.
Not too shabby.
South America has been one amazing experience, eclectic and magnificent. There has never been another trip that has presented so much.
Pulling the gear out, looking at the trucks, it's still just as much fun.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every time. It's a blast.
On that slider one of these times. Like in the middle here.
Tonight is our final camp night as a team. From here on out, we'll be just 5 of us pointing the trucks north to make our way to the shipping port in Buenos Aires. There's a climbing expression that says, climbing down the mountain is still climbing the mountain. This journey is far from over.
Crawled out of the tent this morning and was looking around the tents, and just kind of got to thinking about how far they've taken us. We've kind of reached a summit of sorts. You know, we've reached the end of the road, and I guess what's dawning on me now is kind of what dawns on you on the summit, that okay, now I'm on the top, but now I got to go down. So for us, we got to go up to Buenos Aires, and that is 2,000 miles. Right at 2,100 miles to our best estimation right now. That's the equivalent of driving Los Angeles to the East Coast. My thoughts are just getting these trucks home. They've gotten us this far, now we got to get them home.
This is no time to slack. We must stay as sharp as ever to ensure that the vehicles make it home safely.
And then we're going to work on the cars. We need to wash them, do a little bit of maintenance before we start our big drive north. We've got a little over 2,000 miles, 2,100 miles maybe, to drive up to Buenos Aires, where we'll drop these off and do all the shipping preparation.
Kurt and I just finished putting on brake pads on the rear of Rufio. It's been running thin for a while, but we knew it'd get us to Ushuaia, so we pushed in here hard to do that. Picked up our brake pads at a Toyota dealership in Rio Grande, just north of here, and we just got those swapped out. So now we're ready to make our 2,000 mile push up to Buenos Aires tomorrow.
Ushuaia is a place full of expedition history, most notably for Antarctic expeditions, for explorers of the past and the present.
Well, we just rolled in, and sadly, I'm unpacking the truck. My half of X3. So now Kurt gets the rest of X3 and just ready to head home in the morning. You know, you're excited because you've accomplished this really amazing thing, and this thing that you worked so many years for. It's kind of bummed that now it's coming to an end a little bit. So to see this vision come to fulfillment has been extremely rewarding. We're gonna head inside, we're gonna get some warm showers, haven't had those in a while, and get a good night's sleep and start for my flight back home.
I lost Steve.
Get work done.
You have plenty of time to sleep on the plane.
Tuck him in like a little burrito.
Oh, make sure.
There you go.
Bye, Steve.
Later, guys.
Take care, man.
With Steve set up to catch his flight, it's time to make our most ambitious push to date. With 3 trucks and only 5 drivers, the 2,000-mile trip includes 2 border crossings and 14 to 17-hour days behind the wheel. It's a significant challenge that we are able to complete in 4 days. Now it's time to get the trucks prepped for their voyage home.
So Eric is taking photos. We're walking all the way around the rigs, taking a whole bunch of photos. And that way, once we get them into the port and they get in a container, when we pick them up on the other side, we've got something to reference. Hey, what did we have in the trucks? We're leaving them as sparse as possible. We certainly can't fly home with everything: stoves, cookware, got a lot of gear, axes, hatchets, things that aren't gonna make it onto the plane and we don't have the room for. So we just get to take a little inventory with photos, make sure everything makes it home on the other end. It's kind of surreal to see it just skid into a stop here as we're gonna hand off the keys, shut the doors on a container and fly home back to our regular lives when this has consumed us so much for the last year. And I feel like we did it justice. You can always say more time would be better, but the reality is we had a certain amount of time based on our personal schedules, budget, and things, obligations back home. So we did it justice with the months that we had down here, and I'm happy with it. Whoa! Up on my grill, bro.
The process takes 4 days, and it's a tedious process of documentation and paperwork. The trucks are thoroughly cleaned and organized to eliminate potential setbacks in port.
So we're getting keys sorted, making sure that they got everything from port to unlock all our locked things like our trailers and max tracks and all that. It's always a little stressful. Just making sure we get everything back the way we sent it off. And, you know, the fact of the matter is this isn't done until these get back to the hangar. So, trust they're in good hands, and hopefully we pick them up in Seattle just the way we leave them.
The shipping agent will take over from here as they are placed into a bonded warehouse until the ship arrives a week from now.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Our lives are in your hands.
Sure. No, don't worry. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
With the shipping handled, we are finally able to make our way home, completing our time here in South America. But we do not consider the expedition complete until the trucks are back in the X-hangar. It takes 2 months for the container trucks to make their way up the Atlantic edge of the continent, through the Panama Canal, and up the western coast of the US, where they are finally offloaded in Seattle. After 2 months of anticipation, we're about to find out for ourselves how they survived their voyage.
The day has finally arrived for us to pick up our vehicles back in North America. We're here in Seattle at the shipping office, or the warehouse, where our vehicles have arrived. And I don't know, a little nervous, a little anxious. We're getting our babies back.
Opening that container is going to be like terrifying Christmas present.
It's the moment of truth on if the trucks have survived their voyage unscathed. The relief of seeing the trucks back on U.S. soil is tremendous. Rufio is first to be cut from his straps. Jeff reconnects the battery, and Nate fires Rufio back to life. Next, X3 is freed from his slumber, and as he rolls out from within the container, it is revealed that both rigs are in perfect condition. The second container arrives with Samson and the X-Venture trailer. Everything looks good to go. I want to give a special thanks to Argent Shipping Company, who helped us through the whole process of getting our trucks here. You know who you are, and we can't thank you enough for your exceptional service.
Well, it's been 223 days since the trucks left Bozeman, Montana, and it's a big day to get these out. Everything's fine. We aired up the tires a little bit. All the batteries were good. It's time to get these trucks home.
The drive home is an arduous one. Taylor Swift's latest album, Reputation, set on repeat, dulls our exhaustion as we push our way through the first winter storm of the year.
Be prepared for snow-covered roads and limited visibilities, and use caution while driving. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling.
2 days later, Heather is honorably in the lead as she nears the completion of her most challenging task of the expedition, getting the fleet back into the hangar.
I can't even begin to explain how amazing this trip has been, especially for me. This is my first time on a big expedition with awesome people that I want to spend time with and travel and explore the world. This has been a very exciting experience for me, and it's changed my perspective on traveling for sure.
Yeah, likewise. There's just certain things that you don't quite get unless you're in the moment traveling somewhere different.
You got to get out there and do it, don't you? I just looking back, just thinking now, just flooded with memories of being, almost scared that we would never be able to complete it because the dream was too big, but I guess you just can't dream big enough, and you should at least plan that the dream could happen, because you never know, it just might happen.
Yeah, that makes me think of when we were in Alaska in Denali and made the decision to go all the way up to Prudhoe Bay because we thought, what if someday we make it down to Ushuaia? Shows that taking risks really can be less risky than you think because it pays off a lot.
Yeah, especially when you got a good team around you. And guys, thank you so much for being such a stellar team. And you guys have made this dream possible, and I hope this impacts your life as much as it has impacted mine.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, CROFT. I wouldn't have done it with anybody else.
I say it's also really good to be home. We've traveled a bunch over the last, 6 years, and it feels good to be home.
I think it's that way for as long as we can until we get that itch to go out again, which, knowing us, will probably be pretty soon.
Alrighty, gentlemen, this is it. We are just turning into the X hangar.
All done, everybody. Mission complete.
All right, we crossed the gate, so I'm officially calling the expedition over here. And welcome home. Yes.
With all the trucks home, we can say now that the Pan-American expedition is complete. A dream that at one point seemed beyond us, but step by step, mile by mile, a unified group of friends made the impossible a reality. The lessons learned and the things made known from this experience is far too comprehensive to show or put into words or story. What I can say is that the significance of exploration, whatever it looks like, is priceless. We at Expedition Overland challenge you to take your first step. Your adventure is waiting. But be warned, the challenge will change you. A good friend once told me that the road that teaches you the most about yourself is the one you've never been down. So here's to all of us and the unknown road, wherever it may lead. We'll see you out there.